Mari cik adik,
Mari cik abang,
mari kita berdendang si pinang muda.
Mahligai bahagiamu telah kuruntuhkan. Dara bukan gadis lagi.
Rusaklah anak punya program.
At the height of his career in the 50s and 60s, P. Ramlee was hailed as Asia's Charlie Chaplin.
Dia bukan insan seni penyulap harta negara. Dia bekalkan pusaka lebih berharga, bermaruah bagi bangsanya.
Because to me, P. Ramlee is only my father. Tapi he belongs to everybody. Itu saja saya punya pegangan.
He acted in 66 films, directed 35 and wrote 33 of them, as well as having composed over 360 songs in his lifetime.
P. Ramlee punya filem sentiasa laku. Jangan 100 tahun pun boleh laku.
orang muda.
Conquering every medium of the entertainment spectrum, P. Ramlee had an infinite charm, laced with a healthy dose of humor, warmth and humility that endeared him to many. But his phenomenal rise from stagehand to screen sensation had ill prepared him for the downward spiral to rejection and obscurity.
Dia sedih pasal dia datang di balik di my own country, dia kata people tak appreciate dia.
But after death, his popularity soared to incredible heights. On the 29th of May 1973, legendary Malaysian screen icon P. Ramlee dies, broke and broken.
Apa salah dia? Itu perkataan yang dia cakap. Dia tanya saya, adakah people will remember me? Kan? Saya tak boleh faham jiwa dia. Saya tak boleh buat apa waktu itu.
His sudden death at age 44 is greeted with disbelief and shock around Malaysia, and throws the country into sadness and confusion.
Banyak orang nangis. India, putu mayang, kacang putih, Cina jual sayur. Saya tanya, kenapa lu nangis sampai ini macam? Ini orang banyak baiklah, dia banyak tolong saya. Kenapa dia mati? Kenapa Tuhan Allah ambil sama dia?
Within hours, glowing tributes start to swamp the media.
Tidak ada di Asia dan saya rasa tidak ada di dunia pun yang saya kenal dalam dunia perfilman. Tidak ada tokoh seperti P. Ramlee ini.
But unwanted and unloved by his own people in the years up to his death, guilt begins to prick a nation's collective conscience.
Wah, inilah dia gambar yang dia nak sunting.
His films and songs had grossed millions of dollars and swept more than 30 awards Asia-wide.
Ini kebiasaan lah ya. Masa seseorang tu masih hidup memang tidak dipedulikan ya. Memang apabila dia meninggal baru kita tahu, baru kita sedar bahawa apa yang dia buat tu meninggalkan sesuatu hal khazanah yang sukar untuk kita menidakkan.
Mengapakah kau diciptakan Allah menjadi manusia?
With regret coming in large doses, there is a clamour for his songs and movies and frenzied calls to have him properly honoured and remembered. Memorials, roads and buildings are named in his honour, and P. Ramlee is posthumously awarded the Malaysian honorific title Tan Sri, a knighthood in stature. But for a growing number of voices within the entertainment community, it is too little, too late.
Mungkin kalau dia masih hidup, dia dapat Tan Sri ni, saya banggalah, saya kata. Tapi sekarang saya tak rasa apalah. Cuma saya rasa sedih. Sesudahnya dia pergi, baru diagung-agungkan. Masa dia hidup, tak ada orang pedulikan dia.
It's sad, but it's true. You want to be loved, you want to be famous, you have to die first.
Revered as the greatest Malaysian entertainer of the last century, P Ramlee got his big break at the Shaw Studios on Jalan Ampas in Singapore in the 1940s. Known around Asia as the Warner Brothers of Malaysia, it was here that P Ramlee started working as a stagehand. Within a few years, P Ramlee was Shaw Studios' most successful movie maker, writing, directing and starring in a series of box office hits.
Ketika itu P Ramlee punya nama betul-betul tengah menjulang tinggi. Orang datang cari dia tu tak berhenti-berhenti. Sampai saya bilang, Ram, tahun ini bukan lu cari duit. Duit datang cari aku.
At the height of his career, P Ramlee was not only an idol of the entertainment scenes in Malaysia, but had a huge following overseas, most notably Singapore and Indonesia. He was also a popular figure amongst the Japanese film fraternity. And in a period where Hindi movies ruled the Malaysian box office, Ramlee's films rocked the status quo for the first time in decades.
Dia memang selalu dia nak meninggikan mutu kesenian bangsa kita lah. Dia selalu, umpamanya kalau nak buat filem pun dia selalu nak bikin filem yang bercorak macam kemelayuan ya. Kalaupun lagu pun gitu.
The man whose films, music and charisma inspired and touched the hearts of millions seemed untouchable. But Ramlee was more than just an actor. He was a man of vision. Knowing that colour films were the way forward, making his first screen movie in colour became an obsession for the next couple of years.
Jadi orangnya advance tau Macam 10-20 tahun dia boleh tahu.
In 1965, after completing his last successful film for the Shaw Studio, Singapore, Ramlee left to join Merdeka Film Studio in Kuala Lumpur. For the next 7 years, Ramlee made 18 films with Merdeka Studio, none of which had the box office success of his earlier films. Recording companies which had profited so much from his sweat and tears turned their backs on him.
P Ramlee hanya ada kontrak di Singapura. Jadi saya pergi tanya Mrs. B untuk kontrak barulah. Mrs. B tak boleh. P Ramlee main lagu tak laku.
But even worse, his efforts to recapture his former glory were often ridiculed and vilified by the public and media.
Memang pada masa itu memang P Ramlee teruk kena. Ya, apabila dia buat 6 Jahanam, ya, lagi teruk dia kena. Pertelagahan P Ramlee tu ada kan, dengan wartawan selalu kritik dia kan.
P Ramlee's triumph and fame had once earned him an iconic status. In his final years, he tried desperately but failed to recapture his former glory. But in death, he became a timeless superstar. Born Tuku Zakaria Nyak Puteh in Penang Island on the 22nd of March 1929, P Ramlee rose from humble beginnings. His father, Tuku Nyak Puteh, was an Indonesian sailor from Aceh who migrated to Malaya. He settled in Penang when he married Cik Mah Hussein, Ramlee's mother. The letter P in P Ramlee stands for Puteh, his father's name. He used this name in a singing competition when he was 17 years old and emerged champion. Believing it brought him luck, he decided to keep it. Educated in Penang, P Ramlee went to school as a teenager at the Penang Free School.
Saya kawan dengan yang kenal dengan dia masa darjah 1 sekolah lagi. Tapi sekolah lain, dia sekolah Melayu Kampung Jawa. Saya sekolah Melayu Perak Road.
His faithful friend Sukadi remembers going everywhere with the irrepressible Ramlee.
Lalu di Penang selalu kami berdua. Ronda sana, ronda sini. Basikal dia satu saja basikal, saya tak ada basikal. Naik dua lah.
A cheeky, daredevil teen, Ramlee was always up to mischief wherever he went.
Jadi apa yang ada pokok jambu, pokok kedondong, pokok apa, kalau Ramlee sampai saja, tinggal daun dia. Putih-putih semua dia angkat. Ramlee punya nakai masa kecil-kecil tu. Kami di rumah makcik saya tu meja panjang ni, dia balik sekolah dia boleh stand tu daripada sini sampai ujung meja. Mak saya kata Ramlee yang apa lah nak pergi jahanam ke, tak ada apa, dia turun dia stand lagi, cukup 3 kali stand cukup. Arwah miahan, saya sayang sungguh dekat dia.
Composer and musician Datuk Ahmad Nawab, who went to school with Ramlee, recalls seeing him in a scuffle.
Saya same school dengan dia, Francis Light School. Saya panggil dia budak keroncong. Saya selalu main bola itu. Saya tengok dia, ada orang duk bergaduh tu. Bergaduh, saya pun pergi tengok, ramai orang keliling lah, macam tengok boxing kan. Saya tengok P Ramlee ni bergaduh satu orang Cina, tengah bertumbuk lah. Kalau tengok muka dia, ada kena pisau lah kat sini. Ada bekas pisau di muka dia. Parut dia. Tapi bila dia dah gemuk kan, dia tak apa nampak lah. Waktu dia kurus tu dia nampak.
But the wayward teenager's destiny was changed by a simple twist of fate. Ramlee was about 14 when the Japanese invaded and occupied Malaya from 1941 to 1945 during the Second World War. The Japanese left free movie tickets at post offices in the town centres to entice Malayan youths into their naval camps. It wasn't long before Ramlee and Sukadi got hold of those tickets. To their disappointment, it was a Japanese propaganda movie. But that wasn't the only surprise in store for the mischievous teens. At the end of the movie, they were forced into a waiting truck and ended up as instant recruits of a Japanese naval college. It was this stint at the college that taught P Ramlee to speak fluent Japanese, play the violin, and later influence his disciplined work style.
Malam-malam bila seminggu 2 kali mengistirahat atau mengajar lah. Lepas graduate, saya pergi bahagian Jepun punya signal bendera lah. Dia pasal Pandendro, dia masuk bahagian torpedo.
Even while Japanese soldiers were committing atrocities outside their college walls, the two teenagers formed an attachment to the Japanese officers in the college who were good to them.
Dengar di luar-luar sajalah Jepun yang kejam tu, macam sekolah kami tak ada. Jepun surrender dengar semasa dalam training, malam dah kami dengar radio. Jadi kami masuk store, semua pedang-pedang Jepun saya dengan Ramlee ambil. Sembunyi. Takut sembunyi lah. Takut dia orang Jepun harakiri kan.
3 years after the end of the Second World War, P Ramlee and Sukadi were spotted performing at an agricultural fair in Penang by B.S. Rajans, a director with the Shaw studio. He invited both of them to audition as musicians at the studio and left them 2 train tickets to Singapore. The two friends, who had never been out of Penang, decided to accept the invitation and try their hand at show business. They set off for Singapore on the morning of the Eid Muslim festival that marks the end of the fasting month. P Ramlee remembered the excitement of celebrating Eid on a train for the first time.
Saya masih teringat pada 8 hari bulan Ogos tahun 48. Itu hari yang mula-mula saya keluar dari Pulau Pinang menuju ke Singapura untuk bermain filem. Adalah hari raya yang pertama. Dan pada hari itu saya merayakan hari raya Aidil Fitri di dalam kereta api. Jadi saya dapat melihat banyak negara, banyak negeri berhari raya. Dari Pulau Pinang terus ke Singapura.
Dulu kereta api pun tak tahu bangsa asapnya, pakai arangnya. Muka dia hitam-hitam, cuci muka. Dia pergi take kelas. Jadi kami turun-turun cuci muka semua, barulah makan.